Hey there, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. Tonight we are grabbing our wok and we're doing a stir fry of sorts. It's called red curry beef and pumpkin stir fry. It is actually a stir fry, but it's a curry as well. It serves for, this is what we need. Come on in and I'll show you what we got. Alright, so I've been chopping and slicing and dicing. So we're going to need 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. That is olive oil. 750 grams of beef rump steak trimmed and cut into thick strips. In there. 600 grams of pumpkin peeled and cut into 1 centimetre dice. That was more pumpkin, but by the time I cut it up, it's about 600 grams. 1 brown onion cut into thin wedges. That was a teary onion. 410 gram can of whole baby corn, drained and halved lengthways. I haven't cut it. I'm just going to leave them whole, or I'll cut them. I'll decide as I go. 1/4 cup of red curry paste. 1 cup of roughly chopped coriander. I've decided to leave it whole only because it's going to end up wilting anyway. 270 ml can of light coconut milk. I had to go into Woolworths because I wanted the smaller tin, and I didn't take my list in and I couldn't remember if it was coconut milk or coconut cream, and because I didn't want to go back in again, I brought one of each for the price of what one of the small ones was. So therefore, I have got a 400 ml tin of coconut milk, which it says to shake before use, and I haven't shook it, but I've opened it. I'm just going to use all of that. So it might take a bit longer to boil, but that's what I'm going to do, because by the time I leave whatever's left, which I think is 130 mils, I'm not mathsy at the moment. I'm cooking, not mathsing. It's not worth freezing that much. You very rarely need that much, so you're better off just buying the 270 ml can or just use the 400 mils. 2 packets of 90-second browned rice heated. That's these ones, 250 gram packets. Coriander sprigs to serve. They're going in the freezer when I'm finished with them. Alright, so now that you know what's going on, let's go do it. Alright, so as always, I like to spray the wok. It's so much easier when it comes time to wash up. We're going to pop 1 tablespoon of olive oil in there. Got to grab a stirring stick as well. So we're going to cook the beef in batches. Still got to get that stirring stick. And then I'll need a tin plate to put it on. I would not recommend using the tin plate that you've had that sitting on, because it's been in the fridge. Something that's been... No, I didn't put that in the freezer. I forget what I've done. Sorry. Yeah, not a good idea to put cooked meat on something that was uncooked. So get a fresh plate out for what's cooked. Okay. Not a lot of room, but those of you that have watched the show already know that I have a small kitchen. Doesn't stop me cooking though. So there's a tip for you. Just because you have a small kitchen doesn't mean you don't need to cook. Alright, so I'm going to put in half of these. Once they're cooked, onto the tin plate, put the other half in. There we go. Right, you want that nice and hot. I was going to get the electric wok out, but I thought, nah, I can't be bothered. So, alright, fry away. Okay, when it's looking like that, grab a slotted spoon, aka a spoon with holes in it. Fish that out. onto your plate, and then we're going to put the rest in. Don't stress about the pieces that aren't cooked because it is going to be cooking later. This is just to sear it and start to brown it. Alright, now you can hear there's a good sizzle going on. Chuck the rest straight in. Beautiful. Alright, give that a good stir. So you know it's nice and hot when you hear that sizzling noise. Alright, same thing with that, just get that to the same stage as what we've taken out. Okay, now we're going to pick this lot out. Smelling good already. I haven't had steak for a while. It's always nice to have something different. Okay, I'm going to pop the second 1 tablespoon of olive oil in. We're keeping it really hot because next up is the pumpkin. I'm going to pop this in for 5 minutes. Okay, so we're nearly 5 minutes up. I've just stabbed them and they're not what they should be. But I am going to turn it up high once I get everything else in. So I'm going to leave it at that. So I could have cut them up smaller as well. So that's probably a me thing. I didn't measure 1 centimetre. That's not 1 centimetre, by the way. So don't do your measurements by my pumpkin cutting skills. All right. So let's grab the next lot. In is going to go the onion and the corn. As I said, I'm not cutting that up. I'm going to leave it whole. Cut them up as you eat them. Same with the onion. It'll melt down. Go into small rings as it's starting to do just by going like that. Give it about a minute and then we're going to put more stuff in. And this is getting quite full, by the way. Quite full. Very surprising. Alright. You ready for the next bit? Next up, we are going to add the curry paste, and then the coriander, and then the coconut milk. So once we get the coconut milk in, we're going to be really going for it. In goes that red curry paste. Now don't fear if you don't get it all out because we've got 400 mils of coconut milk that needs to go in anyway. So we can deglaze that through. And you can always pick up a piece of something and just put it through like that as well. Alright, I'm going to give that a good stir through. We want that to be nice and fragrant. And obviously, fragrant means that you can smell the curry paste. That is not a hair, that is off a corn. Right. Pop in that coriander. I didn't cut the coriander up. It's going to chop up while it's in there anyway. You can cut it up if you want. Right. In goes this coconut milk, which I stirred as I went. Now we want this to boil off, so we're going to pop this back up to 6. Beautiful. Alright. Get that as stirred in as you can. There we go. By boiling it really hot and fast, we will boil a lot of that off anyway, because as you saw, a lot of it was just, it looked like water. Oh, look at that. Yum. That's without the meat in there as well, so it's pretty full, isn't it? Now it says to put a lid on it. I don't have a lid for this one, so this is why I'm really regretting not using my electric wok now. A, it's bigger, and B, it's got a lid. Read your recipe before you start cooking. And I can't be bothered moving it into a saucepan now, because that's going to be the next alternative, I guess. Get the saucepan down. Alright, we'll figure it out. Right, let that simmer away for about 3 minutes. Once it comes to the boil, pop the beef back in, because we are going to have to cook it longer. We want everything cooked. So bring it to the boil, beef in, and then give it about 3 to 5 minutes. Make sure everything's cooked. In the meantime, I'm going to put the pouches of rice in the microwave. 2 pouches. Each pouch is 90 seconds, so it'll be about half a pouch per person, because this serves 4. I'll be back. Just so you know, everything did fit. It's slightly full, but it's looking good. Okay, so I'm going to leave mine at that, and that is only because one is for today, one's for tomorrow, which is going to be warmed up, and 2 are going in the freezer. So if you're putting things in the freezer, you don't always like them fully cooked through, because they are going to be heated up, and obviously as you heat things up, they're still cooking. So, that being said and done, I would like to thank everyone for watching this episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. This has been red curry beef and pumpkin stir fry. I'll see you on our next adventure. Enjoy!